The current roster of UFC champions is underwhelming, to say the least. So in today's video, we're going to be ranking them from worst to best, going over which of these champions are truly great and which not so much. So we're going to kick off the list. It's going to be one that's incredibly popular, and I'm sure it's going to make a lot of people click off the video immediately. It's going to be Jon Jones. I'm a halfway decent person, so I don't like Jon Jones. He's a scumbag, he's a known roid cheat, he's a duck of both Ngannou and Aspinall, the two actual challenges he's had to face. Is still ducking Aspinall until we get that fight announced. He's a false Christian. No Christian is doing the things he did. He's talking about, oh, I've made some mistakes, I'm trying to make up. You literally hit a pregnant woman with your car and drove off. Indefensible. And the worst part is, he has such a massive, dedicated fan base who'll just delude themselves into thinking, yeah, Jon Jones is the greatest of all time, man. Which, yeah, greatest fighter in the sport's history. Okay, he's still a terrible person who hit a pregnant woman with his car and drove off. You just can't defend it. And yet he's got fans who are like, oh, he's gonna knock Tom Aspinall out in the first round, and all the Aspinall fanboys are gonna get humbled. I mean, for starters, he took Anthony Smith to a 5-round decision, so I don't know in what world they're thinking Jon Jones is knocking out Aspinall in the first round. He couldn't even knock Stipe out in the first round, it took him 3. Jon Jones is not a first round finisher. He just doesn't have the capacity for it, and if he doesn't look 100 times better against Aspinall than he did against Stipe, yeah, it's over. But you got these Jones fanboys who want to see Aspinall lose. Why? Yeah, you want this roid cheat wife beater to be the GOAT of the sport. Alright, that makes sense. It's one thing to say you think Jon Jones will win the fight. To say you want Jon Jones to win the fight, you just have to be an awful person. And his fans are all Trump supporters. They're all Trump supporters. Utterly idiotic, delusional. They're all Americans with your average IQ of 95. You're all actually brain dead. I'm sorry, like, how do you vote for Trump? I know your other option wasn't good, but that's all his fans. They're just deluded Trump supporters with no moral values other than saying, oh yeah, no, I'm a Christian, so I have great moral value. No, it's just an excuse to do all the crappy things. Oh, it's such a terrible country. I'm so glad I'm not American. I'm sorry to all the Americans watching this who are genuinely decent people and who hate Trump just as much as me, Jon Jones just as much. Sorry to all of you, but your country sucks. It's awful. Trump is just an utter idiot, and Jon Jones out here giving him shout outs on the call, and then Dana's like trying to make him partner with the US. It's just, oh, it's awful. Dana is so useless. He can't promote fights for the life of him anymore. He's just out here chatting with Trump all the time, surrounding himself with such terrible people, and the sport is in a sorry state right now. The amount of time we've taken to get a main event for International Fight Week is just ridiculous. And I know I'm meant to be talking about Jon Jones here and not the state of the UFC, but I am fed up. Awful people at the head of the organisation. It needs to stop when Tom Aspinall knocks Jon Jones out in the first round. And if you don't want to see that, I don't know what to say. Click off now, because I'm not interested in your viewership. Sort your life out, seriously. If you want Jon Jones to win this fight, you've got some real issues. And also, he has the longest title reign in heavyweight history. That just shows the degree of ducking we've got going on here. But I've talked about Jon Jones for 5 minutes. Next up, Magomed Ankalaev. The Dagestani fans aren't going to be happy with this one, but the fact is, Magomed Ankalaev is boring. Like, yeah, he chases finishes, but his striking is dry. His grappling isn't that good, and he has no submissions. Yeah, like, there's no finishing threat on the ground from Ank, and he couldn't even take Pereira down. Like, yeah, Pereira's takedown defense looked very good in that fight. Ank's takedowns were not great. People talking about Ank's wrestling. He's a striker, and his striking isn't that good. But this is the issue I have after that Pereira fight. Like, before it was kind of tolerable because everything the Ank fans were saying was kind of reasonable, and now they're talking like he's some incredible striker. He's just not. Like, how can you actually look at the Ank Pereira fight and say, or any of Ank's fights prior, and say, yeah, Ankalaev is an incredible striker? He's not. Pereira was just fighting abhorrently in that fight. I don't know if it was because he was scared of the takedown, or if he hadn't been training hard enough, the fame had got to him, or I don't know. But Pereira was at like 30% in that fight. He was fighting like Leon Edwards, except he actually was at 30%, whereas Leon's just terrible. It's ridiculous. Pereira was not at his best in that fight. If Pereira came into that fight fighting like he did against Yuri in that second fight, Ankalaev would get knocked out. Like, that's just a fact of the matter. There's no argument against it, but these Ankalaev Dagestani fans fans are like talking like he's some second coming of Christ. He's this super entertaining striker, as if there isn't boring striking in the sport. There is boring striking in the sport. Ankalaev versus Pereira is a perfect demonstration of boring striking. Just because you have a striking matchup doesn't mean it's going to be good. He isn't this super boring fighter who doesn't chase the finish. He does chase the finish on the feet, but he's just not that entertaining. And he ruined Pereira's run, which just sucks, because that was like that will be one of the most legendary kind of years in UFC history for the Pereira title run. It's just upsetting, really, but Pereira can come back and beat Ank. But yeah, I don't like Ank, just not very entertaining. But he does dislike John Jones, so I'll give him that. He has been slagging off John Jones. That is incredibly respectable in my opinion. And then we'll move on. We've got Merab. I don't hate Merab, but I don't like his fighting style. There's no finishing ability there. He just drags him to decisions, relies on his cardio to just kind of hold him down and tire him out, which, yeah, it's his style. And Merab's a really, really good fighter, and I'm not sure anyone at bantamweight beats him right now, but he's just boring. He cardio maxes his way to a decision. And yeah, the Umar fight was really good. Arguably the best fight we've had this year. It's up there. But Merab is so boring. I just don't like his style. I just don't like when fighters aren't going for a finish. I know it's stylistic, and I know some people just prefer to go for a decision. That's up to them. If they want to fight like that, I don't have to like them. That's just how it is. I don't find pinning people down for 25 minutes and not doing anything with it. Like, it's one thing if you're pinning them down and actually doing stuff with it. Like Sean Brady, great example of it. Holds people down and he actually does something with it. He goes for submissions and he advances positions. Merab, he just sits there and tires people out. He can't finish people. You get him on the press conferences, like, yeah, I know it's really funny because he's like battling with the other guys to see who has the most autism, but he's there going like, he just talks so much at the press conference. He's like, guys, I think I want to fight with Sean O'Malley. The photo of him and Sean O'Malley in the hot tub's really funny though. I do like that. Yeah, he's got a fan base now that since he beat Umar, he's gathering a fan base who like gas at themselves into thinking he's entertaining, coming off of one good performance over Umar. They literally just look at his last fight and go, damn, that was a really entertaining fight against Umar, and not an Aldo fight. Yay, Aldo and Merab, two top 15 guys all time going at it. That would be a brilliant fight. Jesus. But in fairness to Merab, you just heard me say he's top 15 of all time. He's the GOAT of the division, and I don't want to hear about Dominic Cruz, because Merab's resume is so much better. He's fighting so much more skilled guys. Merab is the GOAT of the division, and I know his title run hasn't been the best yet because he's only defended once, but that's a really good defense. But yeah, Merab's the GOAT of the division. I don't want to hear anything else. If you're saying it's all just these old heads, man. They're the same people who have like Jones 1, GSP 2, Mighty Mouse 3, Anderson Silva 4 even. They'll have like Khabib 5, Volk 6, DC 7, Stipe 8, Aldo. The Aldo's usually higher on theirs, but you get what I'm saying. They don't want to embrace. They won't even have Makachev in their top 10. Just retire already. You're past your prime, man. And they just can't accept any new faces being in that conversation. But Merab is the GOAT of the division, and there's no argument against it. But then we move on to Alexander Pantoja. He is the perfect middle of the row pick, and I think everyone's gonna have him in the middle of the row, really. Unless you have some like really goofy list with like John Jones at number 1, Tom Aspinall at number 9, like something like that. But Pantoja, most people are gonna have him at the number 4 spot. He's very skilled and he is entertaining. You can see his skill coming through in his fights, which I'm a massive fan of. And the fights, they are competitive, they're high skill, they're just really good fights. The issue I have with Pantoja is that he doesn't really put on those dominant performances. Like, you look at someone like Pereira and he's knocking out Yuri with that head kick, or absolutely dominating Khalil in that 4th round. You look at someone like Topuria, he's knocking out Max Holloway. You look at Max Holloway, he's schooling Justin Gaethje for 5 rounds and then knocking him out. Pantoja doesn't really have that. He's beating these guys by decision, and it's pretty narrow decisions that, like, yeah, you're clear that Pantoja won. It's kind of like, oh, you'd like to see him be a bit more dominant, because that's what you want out of a champion, really. You want to look at a champion and go, God, this guy seems unbeatable. That's why he's a champion. And you do get that with Pantoja. Like, you can see how good he is because of how dominant he's been. But he doesn't, in those fights, have that dominance. He doesn't knock anyone out. He doesn't submit them. The Asakura performance is an exception, but it was Asakura Kurab's first fight in the UFC. I wish he did a bit more in the cage, and like, it's not really a criticism to him, it's more like the division. There just doesn't tend to be that dominance at flyweight in those fights. They tend to be closer fights. But yeah, I would like to see more of that, because then it would fix the other issue, which is just he doesn't have much star power. He doesn't have a really great standout personality. He's just kind of there in the background, which is the issue with flyweight right now. They're all just kind of there in the background, and that's why we don't really get super fights. I really want to see Pantoja versus Merab, but I'm not sure if we ever get it, really. But we'll move up. The welterweight division has a new champion. Jack Della Maddalena defeated Bilal Muhammad at UFC 315 just this last weekend. I'm not glad he won. I really wanted to see Topuria versus Makhachev, and maybe we see that now. I'm not hopeful, so that's unfortunate. However, I like JDM a lot more than I like Bilal. JDM, he's very entertaining. His style, very boxing heavy. It's just very entertaining, and he proved against Bilal he's actually really well rounded. He's champion level, and he proved it. The issue I have is that JDM these past few years just hasn't been active, and I really value that in a champion, because I want to see fights happening, and it keeps the division moving as well, and I'm not sure we're going to have that with JDM. I feel like JDM versus Islam we'll probably get, maybe for December. Yeah, I think it'll be December, because we've got Jones versus Aspinall in November, most likely. If that doesn't happen, it will be Makhachev JDM. I think we're going to have to wait till December for that, and that will be a great fight, and honestly might be harder for Islam than Ilya. Stylistically, JDM actually has a really good shot there. I do like JDM. I'm a fan. He's not my favourite champion, primarily because of that activity. We just haven't seen him fight that much. If he proves me wrong, if he's fighting loads, or like twice a year, you know, then I'll be satisfied. You know you're going to get some entertaining fights there, because it's welterweight. It's so stacked right now. But I'm just not sure he's going to maintain that activity. So that's where I have JDM, most recent champ on the list. We got Dricus. I really like Dricus. I think he's so funny. I think Dricus is hilarious. He is the Looney Tunes champ. You can't explain his wins, because they don't make sense. You'll look at someone like Pereira, where he's winning, he looks incredible, and you're like, oh my god, how do you beat this guy? And then you look at the performance with Ank, and you go, oh, he looked terrible in that fight, okay. But you look at Dricus, he looks terrible in every fight, because he just doesn't look like he's good. He looks like some guy who's trained in the gym for a year, with his like sloppy Looney Tunes stuff, but he just wins. And you can't look back at the fights and go, oh yeah, he did this was his game plan, this is how he was. He just kind of makes things happen, and you can't explain it. It is really funny, and it's why I think the Hamzat matchup's so entertaining, because you should pick Hamzat to win it, really, after what he did to Whitaker. But you look at it and you go, he really shouldn't be winning these, and that he should have no chance against Hamzat, because Hamzat is so good. But he might just Looney Tunes his way to a victory, and all the comments on like the Instagram reels, Dricus by painting a door on the cage and having Hamzat run into it. It's so fun, it's brilliant. When you get Dricus at a press conference, you know it's going to be an absolute riot. You know it's going to be hilarious. He's like back for back making people cry at the moment. And you know it's going to be a good press conference, because Dricus is there, just there like, I never said that. He'll call out Hamzat about the common cold and stuff. It's going to be brilliant. So yeah, I'm a fan of Dricus. And then we get on to Tom Aspinall. We all know he's the real heavyweight champ, apart from the John Jones fans. Yeah, he's got an incredibly entertaining fighting style. He's just going out there knocking out the best heavyweights in the world in the first round like it's nothing. His only loss was to Curtis Blades because of an injury. Like, okay, look at what he did to Curtis Blades in the rematch. That was literally it. He wouldn't have taken any other fight other than Jones, but he was just like, you know what, I've got the loss on there, let me just avenge it and prove I can absolutely smoke this guy. And he goes out there and knocks Curtis Blades out in like 20 seconds odd. It's ridiculous that he can do that. And Curtis Blades is very good for heavyweight, and Tom Aspinall just utterly destroys him. He's undefeated. When you look at it really, like, undefeated in the UFC, that injury loss doesn't count. You could maybe argue it, but it's the fact that he went out there and completely dominated Blades and knocked him out so easily in that rematch. Tom Aspinall is crazy good. I think he knocks Jones out in the first or second round, probably the first. I don't think Jones has a prayer against him, really. I can see it. If it gets into the later rounds, yeah, Jones is probably gonna win. I don't see Jones getting there. Like, the way Stipe was hitting him in those first and second rounds, yeah. You get hit like that by Aspinall, it's over. But he's got a really good personality. Aspinall is really entertaining, and he just gets highlight reels. He's just the type of fighter you want as a champion. What would it take to make this guy champion? Probably quite a lot, because John Jones sucks. But we'll move on to the silver medal. Islam Makhachev. All the Dagestani fans who were getting angry at me for putting Ank so low, look where I've put Makhachev. I love Makhachev. Makhachev is one of my favourite UFC fighters, because he is one of the most entertaining fighters right now. This isn't some like, oh, he's got the Dagestani wrestling, so he's boring. No, Makhachev makes it entertaining. When he's wrestling, he's actually hunting for submissions, and he's actually trying to finish the fight, and he's actually trying to fight, not just smudge wrestle people. And like, he's doing things with it. And you look at what he did to Moicano and Poirier. The Poirier fight, incredible fight, and he dominated Moicano. Obviously, we all knew that was going to happen, but he's actually doing things with that submission. If Ank fought Moicano like that, Ank wouldn't submit him like that. Ank wouldn't even try for it, because he has no finishing ability. Makhachev has finishing ability. There's an actual threat when you're on the ground with him, unlike someone like Merab. So you're actually invested. You're looking at the fight going, ooh, Oliveira don't want to get into a bad position here, and Makhachev could get him. Makhachev could get him. Or if Makhachev gives him the back, Oliveira's going to get him. You're looking at it going like that, because there's actual threat, and there's an actual question of, oh, Makhachev could finish him here. And then he gets to the feet, and he's one of the best strikers in the UFC right now. He just is. You look at how he did against Dustin Poirier on the feet. Yeah, he's one of the best strikers in the sport right now. Makhachev's striking is great, and it's entertaining, and his grappling is entertaining. This is a well-rounded fighter. There's a reason he's pound for pound #1, because he is the most skilled fighter in UFC history, I'd argue. He is the most well-rounded fighter right now, and that's why we want to see Ilya versus Islam, because they're both so well-rounded. They can both do it all. They're both great wrestlers, great strikers. We want to see who can win between the pound for pound best guys in the sport, and I know Jones is #2, but I'm not getting into that. Ilya is #2. We want to see these guys go against each other, and Makhachev is just so entertaining, because he just goes out there, puts on banger fights, doesn't care who he fights. Makhachev is the future GOAT of the sport. One more win at lightweight and the welterweight belt, he's the GOAT. He's already top 5. Yeah, Makhachev, I love Makhachev. Speaking of top 5 all time, Alexander Volkanovski broke the 36-year-old curse, became the first fighter above 35 to win a belt in the lower weight divisions. It's insane. Everyone was like, Volks fell off because he got knocked out by Topuria, coming off a short notice, and getting knocked out by Makhachev. And bear in mind, those are the two pound for pound most skilled guys in the sport. And people were like, yeah, he's washed. And I bought into it a bit. I picked Volk to win by round 4 TKO against Lopez. I thought Volk was going to win it, and I knew Volk would bring that skill. And you just have to look at what he did to Holloway in that third fight, to Max Holloway, who is in the top 10 most skilled fighters in the UFC right now. And Volk, yeah, we saw what Volk did to him. But yeah, Volk, great personality, so entertaining, phenomenal walkout, and his style is excellent. Like, his style is so entertaining. You look at his fights, that first Makhachev fight, oh my god, what an entertaining fight. And that's what I want to see, because it's high skilled. You know you're getting a really high skilled matchup when you're looking at Volk, and he's just so entertaining. He's got the style to back it up. So yeah, Volk, he's going to be top in the list. I think he's top 3 all time. I have him above Mighty Mouse, much as I prefer Mighty Mouse slightly in terms of how much I like him. I think Volk's resume is just, he has bigger names. I don't think Mighty Mouse quite has the names. You can argue Volk being the GOAT right now. Genuinely, if you want to discredit John Jones for being a PED cheat that much, and you look at GSP and go, his wins weren't really against guys who are that great. Like, he does have really, really good wins, and his resume is incredible, but Volk's got better names on his resume. Just not quite so many, and not quite the dominance, but I love Volk. Volk is so and the memes, the memes in the lead up, and like after 314, I'd scroll on Instagram Reels for a bit, and all the videos would just be Land Down Under and like the sped up clipper cooking with Volk. It's brilliant. The memes were incredible. But yeah, Volk is my favourite champion in the UFC right now. Makhachev is a very close second. John Jones is definitely bottoming the list. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up. Let me know what you want to see me do next. It might end up being a DDP Hamzat card builder finally, but we might have the fights for that announced by the time this goes out. Maybe I'll do a GOAT list, or fixing the pound for pound rankings, because they're not great. But yeah, let me know. Drop it in the comments. Have to say it, like and subscribe, and feel free to share the video. You know the drill. It really helps the algorithm. Sometimes YouTube will give me impressions, and then other times it just won't, and I'll get like 10 impressions on a video. You gotta like and subscribe, please. I swear. Push the video out to more people, even if you don't agree with me. You know, some people will. So do all that YouTube stuff. I'll see you in the next one.